Hi everyone, welcome to my sweet little RV kitchen. Today I'm going to be making chocolate cupcakes, and I want to show you kind of the process that I go through and some of the important key things to remember when making chocolate cupcakes. So first off, let me just step out of the way and I'll show you what I have going on here behind me. So here I have all of my dry ingredients. That's what I'm going to be doing first, is the measuring and sifting. Got my cocoa, my sugar, my flour. Having everything set out and ready for you when you're baking is called mise en place. And it basically just means like having everything set out and ready, right? Sometimes on cooking shows, they'll have it even like pre-measured. I'm not going to do that, but I will show you I do have everything ready. That had a nice little explosion. So I have my sifter in here. And with this recipe in particular, you 100% do need to sift. If you take a look here into the cocoa, we can see that it naturally tends to want to be lumpy, and that causes a problem. Baking soda as well tends to naturally have lumps in it. So you want to sift and make sure you get that all broken up and so it's nice and beautiful and not messing up your cake. Believe me, I've been there. Alright, so here we go. Let's get started. So one quick tip when you're making cakes especially, it is very important. Yes, that is me and my pretty phone. To make sure that your ingredients are leveled. This is not level. If you scoop and have a dome like that, that is too much. It will make a difference in what you're baking. You can use a knife. You can use like the back end of a spatula. I'll do it in a second. And you want it level. You don't want anything sticking up like there is right there. So, dry ingredients, make sure they are level, all of them, because it can totally mess up a cake if they're not level. So I'll get them leveled off and put into the sifter. Alright, so as we're sifting here, I will show you how there's all those clumps. So what you can do, and what I'll do, and I'll set this down, is you can use your spatula to kind of get it off the sides, but also break up any remaining clumps. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm just working with what I have here. Sometimes RV lighting is not the best. So if we can get a good angle. You can go through and sift, and as those lumps are there, just gently push them through, break them up, push them through. You want all that nice cocoa in there. And another pro tip, as you're going, put all your stuff away. So I can go put all that baking soda, baking powder away, wipe off my counter, and go on to the next step. Alright, while this was mixing, I got my wet ingredients out. Now, my milk and my eggs have been sitting at room temperature. If you ever forget to set it out, it's not a big deal. And this has only been out for maybe 30 minutes because obviously we don't want any spoiling issues. You can put the milk or your water in the microwave just for a few seconds at a time to warm it up. Eggs, if you need to make your egg come to room temperature, what I do is I stick it in the preheated oven for about a minute. And in that minute, it will warm up the egg a little bit without cooking it. Don't be like me. Don't forget about your egg. I've done that before, and all of a sudden I have soft-boiled eggs. So, if you forget, it's not the end of the world. Room temperature ingredients make a difference, especially in cakes, on the outcome. So you definitely want to make sure if you're ever having problems, that's a really good first place to check is, are my ingredients at room temperature? So I'm going to get those added in. As you can see, we have this all mixed. I gave it a little stir with the spatula to get the edges down. And so all of our dry ingredients are ready to go. I'm going to get my wet ingredients in, and then we're going to get these cupcakes in the oven. All right, after mixing this for about 20 to 30 seconds, you can see that there are ingredients stuck on the sides. So you'll want to use a lovely rubber spatula, scrape it down, and then we'll be ready to put in our last ingredient, which is hot water, and get these into our cupcake pan, tin, liners, whatever. So this is now quite a bit runnier, especially compared to what you saw just a second ago, and that is okay. That is normal. This is what we want. And I use a cupcake scoop when I am doing my cupcakes, so I get even sizes, and I know it's the right amount. It doesn't actually show a measurement on here, like if it's a quarter cup or a third a cup, and I've tried to measure it and it just always comes out weird in terms of how to convert it. But the colored handles are actually universal across all of the like baking supply stores. So you can go into a restaurant supply and get this, and you want the red handle. So it is liquidy. Hopefully I can get this without out of the frame. There we go. It's almost full. I'm going to go in. There we go. So it's about halfway. Since I'm trying to hold the camera and do this, it's a little tricky, and I would normally take off the paddle. But try to get it as full as you can. Get a little scrape so you're not dripping, and then put it right on in. If you go through and you see any are shorter than others, then you can go through and kind of use a teaspoon to refill those. Let me go help my sweet 4-year-old, and I'll be back. Alright, so I have all of them filled and ready to go into the oven. And my oven is preheated, and so I'll just stick this in, and I'll kind of show you how we check the cake here in just a minute. With chocolate cake in particular, if you're doing a real sheet cake or you're doing a 9x13, if you're doing any size with chocolate cake, no matter what it is, cupcakes, real cakes, whatever, do not peek. Do not get excited. Don't go like tapping and looking. Don't open it after 10 minutes. This chocolate cake recipe is a little bit fragile, and I have found it to be no matter what, and which is why I've kind of adapted it to be a little less fragile. So this recipe will be in my cookbook. I'll stick a link in here so you can see that. But peeking will make it deflate. I promise you it will. So don't do it, okay? And I'll kind of show you here. We're going to wait about 15 minutes. That's a good, for cupcakes, 15 minutes is a good amount of time to wait before you check them. Everyone's oven is different, and that's why I say 15. It may take 20. There's like this X factor, and I'll talk about that later. With cakes, you want to wait more like 25 minutes. So I'm going to stick these in the oven, and I'll flip you around or get me out of the way here in just a second and show you what it looks like when it is done. All right, here we go. Let's check these cupcakes. This is at 15 minutes, and I'm going to go very slow. Nothing's wiggling. This is all a very good sign. Ooh, with the cake, don't burn yourself. Yikes. With the cake, you may see sometimes that it wiggles. Stop where you are and go right back. Okay. When I push this, that indentation stayed, which means it's not done. If you listen very carefully, you can kind of hear little crackles, which means it's still baking. So these cupcakes, especially the ones in the back, need a few more minutes. They are not done yet. So I'll put this back in, and I will check it about every 2 minutes to see when they're done. All right, here we go, checking again. I did have to flip my pan around because my oven does not bake evenly. That is just the downside of an RV oven. There might be just a teeny smidgen, little bit of crumbs right there. And I can still hear it crackling a little. I will check a back one to see. That came clean. So, I've got about maybe 1 minute left, and then these can come out of the oven. All right, here we go, and you can see earlier, that's where I pushed my finger, and that's why that one dropped. But, nice tops, not raised too high, just a little bit. You actually don't want that giant domed top. That is more indicative of a muffin than a cupcake. So if they're coming out level like this, do not be afraid. That's what they're supposed to look like. And since we use that measuring scoop, then it went ahead and made them all the same size with just those nice little domes. See? And when I push, like earlier when I pushed this one and it sunk in, I push this one, boom, bounces right back. And push gently. That wasn't gentle. Push gently. See, it bounces back. There you have it. So these are my cupcakes. I'm going to let them cool, and that is it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about making cupcakes. Like I said, this recipe will be in my cookbook, and I can maybe link some similar ones down below. Mouthful. And I hope you have an awesome day. Oh, like the video? Subscribe to our channel? Sounds good.